Hello, welcome to 3.12, choose a method. The essential question today is, which method could you choose to find decimal sums and differences? And when we're talking about methods, we're talking about the different properties, which we learned in Chapter 1, like the associative property and commutative properties. You don't necessarily have to use them, but they do make adding and subtracting decimals a lot easier. So let's go ahead and go over the steps. And I know that like step 2 is a lot of writing, but I still want you to write that down. Step 1 is identify key numbers, because you're going to be looking at word problems, and you want to identify the numbers that you're going to be using. Second step is arrange your numbers with the decimals lined up. This is where you can use different properties, like the commutative property, where you can just move the numbers around when you're adding, or associative property, where you put numbers in parentheses, and that way you prioritize 2 sets of numbers before adding the third one. Okay? And then the third step is add or subtract. Regroup or carry the number if necessary. So let's go ahead and get started with the first example, which you need to write down. At a track meet, Stephen entered the long jump. His jumps were 2.25 meters, 1.81 meters, and 3.75 meters. What's the total distance Stephen jumped? So I want to look at the different numbers that they give me, 2.25, 1.81, and 3.75. And I'm going to use a commutative property. I'm going to rearrange them. Since I know I'm going to be looking at the total distance, I'm going to be adding 3.75 plus 2.25 plus 1.81. So I'm going to rearrange them from biggest to smallest. And then I'm going to use associative property. I'm going to put these two in parentheses. I want to add them first. So 3.75 plus 2.25. Okay, 5 plus 5 is 10, carry the 1. 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10, carry the 1. 3 plus 1, make sure you have your decimal right there. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So now I have 6.00 plus 1.81. And I'm keeping those zeros, that way it can make my adding easier. 0 plus 1 is 1, 0 plus 8 is 8, bring down your decimal, and 6 plus 1 is 7. So, the total distance that Stephen jumped is 7.81. Alright? And that's how you can use commutative and associative property. Now, you could have lined them all up like this and added them if you wanted to. You could have done that. Okay? There's nothing wrong with this method. But I find using the different properties can also make it a little bit simpler and less room for error. So, it's honestly up to you, but let's go ahead and let's do example number 2. Okay? Alright, move that up. In 1924, and please write this down, in 1924, William DeHart Hubbard won a gold medal with a long jump of 7.44 meters. Okay, I'm going to circle that. In 2000, Roman Sharunko won the bronze medal with a jump of 8.31 meters. All right, I'm going to circle that. How much longer was Sharunko's jump than Hubbard's? Okay, so they're asking how much longer. They want you to find the difference or subtract. So, I'm going to take 8.31 minus 7.44. And that's going to give me a difference. Okay? So, I don't think there's any properties that we could really use here. You don't want to rearrange the numbers. That's not for subtracting anyway. I think we just need to do straight up subtraction. So, we see that the 1 is smaller than the 4, so we got to add 10 and take 1 from the 3. The 3 changes to a 2. 11 minus 4 is 7. Okay? Now the 2 is smaller than the 4, so we have to add 10. That changes to 12. Sorry that's in my word problem there. I'll put it over here and erase this. Okay, that changes to a 12. The 8 changes to a 7. 12 minus 4 is 8. Bring down your decimal. And 7 minus 7 is 0. So, Sharunko's jump was 8.7 meters longer than Hubbard's. Okay, and that would be your answer. Alright, you guys, that's it for the examples. You're going to be having different problems where you have to find the sum or difference. You can use properties if you want, just like I did with the first one. Okay, don't be afraid to do that. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.